Family, it's your boy, Lamonte Faison, back with another episode of You Versus Yourself podcast, where the truth and you collide. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a conversation today about the truth and you colliding. And what I mean by that, I've been paying attention a lot lately to our politics. And I'm listening to people on podcasts. I'm listening to the president speak and people in the cabinet. I'm listening to the Democrats and the Republicans speak. And what I'm gathering is that many of them are full of shit. Now, somebody might be like, well, Lamont, we've been doing this for a long time. Right. But my issue is that I am wondering, we as a people, are we more concerned about our home team winning than we are about telling the truth? What do I mean by that? Clearly, there's people lying in politics about certain things that are on video. For an example, if you are a Trump supporter, I don't care. My question is, do you call him out and do you care if he lies? That's my only question. If you are a Democrat, and here's an example, is when Joe Biden was having some cognitive issues, I heard people on the Democrat side, oh no, he's vibrant. He's in good shape. He's great. That is a lie. When Donald Trump says certain things and you know he's lying and you see it on the video with him saying something else, do you call out that individual based on your own moral principles? And this is where I see a lot of back and forth taking place in our society. It's not the politicians that are necessarily the issue. It's us, we, the people. My tagline is, when the truth and you collide, what would you do? What will you do? What have you done? If you're voting for Republicans and if Donald Trump is your man, when do you call him out? If Democrat, if that's your man, when do you call him out? That is my question. I believe that we are suffering from cognitive dissonance, holding two separate beliefs. On one end, I'm a Republican or a Democrat, and then I say I'm a Christian and I believe in truth. I don't have a problem with you rooting for the home team as long as you are consistent with your moral concept of truth and doing the right thing. This is why I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that it is so hard for people to adopt religion. And I'm not saying the creator, I'm just speaking in general. People just get tired of it all because of the hypocrisy. I forgot the gentleman's name, a Caucasian man was teaching in church one day, and he says, the president of the United States is not God. And he actually goes against a lot of the principles that we say we believe in Christianity. That was his commentary. He talks about people. He put people down. He says a whole lot of things for a fact that is not true. He's been convicted of sexual assault. Well, Lamont, we don't judge people and, people can be forgiven. They can. I'm not sure he asked for forgiveness. We root for the whole team that we give up our own moral compass. What does that make you? Joe Biden pardoned his son for wrongdoing. Is that okay to you guys? And then you hide behind the cloak of Christianity or whatever your belief system is. But we are total hypocrites because we don't call out falsehoods. If it's true, then let it be true. But what we do instead is we start justifying and we start playing the game of whataboutism. Sometime I'll post something on Facebook when I'm having a conversation for podcasts and somebody will say, well, the Democrats did it too. This, for me, is not about whataboutism. Are you true to yourself despite if it's somebody you're rooting for? Do you stand firm on your principles? We rather cancel each other out and divide ourselves. I heard somebody the other day say, well, President Obama is the most divisive president I ever been under. I can't be mad at your opinion. I don't have to agree with that, because I actually believe that we're in a pretty divisive time as well, and we have a leader that's pretty divisive. Again, that's just my opinion. And I think two things can be true. If you see somebody else divisive, that could be true. And also the other individual, that can be true. It's when we start lying. I saw J.D. Vance go on The View, and the president had said something. And J.D. Vance said, no, he didn't say that. He said A, B, and C. And I remember one of the hosts asked him, she said, are you his vice president or are you his interpreter? Because it's clearly not what he actually said. Are we selling our souls, ladies and gentlemen? And I'll ask you directly, have you sold your soul? Can you call out the lies when they're being told to you? Are you being honest with yourself? Some of us will sell out Jesus for the president. And I don't care what president it is. I'm just speaking in general. You will sell out your Jesus for the president. I had a client tell me one day, he said, I told him a long time ago, we was having this conversation. I said, do you call out the lies, even if you like the president or any of the president that we're talking about? Do you call out the lies? And he said, well, when did he lie? I went down the list, and he was looking for a justification. The good thing about this particular client, he was working on his personal growth and development. And he came back a couple of months later. He said, Coach, you're right. I was selling my soul. The principles that some of our presidents live by are not the principles that I live by. That's what he said. I agree. I also had to check myself to make sure I wasn't taking sides and then throwing out everything that I believe about when the truth and you collide. What would you do? I'm seeking truth. I've been lied on before, and it doesn't feel good. I often say that what's in the dark will come to the light. I don't even have to necessarily fight it. I just want to know, will you sell your soul? Will you sell your Jesus? Will you sell your God? Will you sell out a lie? Will you sell out whatever your belief is? Would you sell out for the lie because it's your guy that you're rooting for? That's the question. I am Lamonte Faison, You Versus Yourself podcast. And like I always tell you, being calm is cool.